Welcome to the AJ Sports Show. Had recording issues last week, so couldn't get the last video's episode going. So I'm back for this week, and the NFL season, college football season are entering its prime stage. The NBA season got started, even though it's a mess over there. And the World Series matchup, the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. The Blue Jays just won Game 5. So after an 18-inning Game 3 where Freddie Freeman walked it off, the Blue Jays have recovered. They won the last two games pretty comfortably. And so now they're heading to Toronto, looking to finish it off. But with that out of the way, let's get to this Week 9's college football. I'm just gonna blitz through these. All right. Skip for the key matchups. Let's see. Any interesting Friday games? Not really. I mean, Virginia Tech beat Cal, but that's it. All right. OU and Ole Miss. OU's defense crapped out of this game. John Mateer played mediocre. The running game had one good run. That was it. I mean, the running game is still unreliable. I mean, Isaiah Satanga played very well. 6 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown. But OU's defense did not play well today. They were down 22-10 at one point, but Oklahoma made a furious comeback. They were up by 1 to begin the fourth quarter, but Ole Miss would score a touchdown, and that was kind of it. The offense did nothing more, and Ole Miss is 7-1, and Oklahoma's very, very slim chances of the playoffs are on life support because their schedule not in their favor. Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. I mean, they'll be fortunate to win one of those. So, in my opinion, their playoff chances are dead. Purdue continues to suck. They lost to Rutgers 27-24. Another game where Purdue could have won, but didn't finish it off in the end. And that's on them. IU is 8-0. They just blew UCLA out of the water 56-6. They're national title contenders. A&M embarrassed LSU 49-25. No one's going to remember that LSU was up at halftime at this point. Brian Kelly got fired. The second largest buyout of all time. Yeah, we knew this was coming. Brian Kelly's just a clown. He's just a clown. We knew this at Notre Dame. You really think he was not going to be a clown at LSU? If you were shocked, then you're a fool, in my opinion. Alabama, South Carolina. South Carolina was at one point up 22-14 in the fourth quarter, but Bama scored to tie it. Then a turnover on South Carolina's end, and Bama scored again. And Bama won pretty ugly, 29-22, but Bama's 7-1. And they're legit. I mean, their next games are LSU, who just fired a head coach, Oklahoma, then it's some no-name Eastern Illinois, and then Auburn. They could go 11-1 and reach the conference title game. Oregon beats Wisconsin 21-7. Georgia Tech stays undefeated. They destroyed Syracuse 41-16. Miami gets a bounce-back win after that loss to Louisville. They beat Stanford 42-7. Vandy beats Missouri in a close one, 17-7. That was a heart-pumping game for both teams. Vandy fortunate to be able to grind it out at the end. BYU beats Iowa State 41-27. BYU's still undefeated. Texas Tech gets a bounce-back win after that loss to Arizona State. They crush Oklahoma State 42-0. Virginia is 7-1. They barely beat North Carolina 17-16. Tennessee blows out Kentucky 56-34. Memphis won in a thriller. Memphis had a big fourth quarter to beat South Florida 34-31. Louisville beats Boston College 38-24. Cincinnati 7-1. They beat Baylor 41-20. Texas, they were down big against Mississippi State at one point, but they rallied to beat Mississippi State 45-38. Washington beats Illinois pretty comfortably 42-25. Houston beats Arizona State 24-16. Michigan beats Michigan State 31-20. Nebraska 6-2. They look solid this year. They beat Northwestern 28-21. Wake Forest beats SMU. Kansas State, they're winning again, but it's too late for a conference title appearance. Kansas, they're trending downwards. Auburn was down big at one point at Arkansas. They won 33-24. Iowa 6-2. They actually had some offense today. They beat Minnesota 41-3. San Diego State 6-1. Navy's still undefeated. They beat Florida Atlantic 42-33. TCU 6-2. They beat West Virginia. Utah blew Colorado out of the building. And that was it for your college football's Week 9. Week 10 matchups. A couple big ones. OU and Tennessee. That's a pivotal game for both teams. There's slim chances of the playoffs. They have to win this game. Both of them. Purdue plays Michigan. That's an easy Michigan win. I'm not even going to discuss anything. Penn State, Ohio State. Ohio State should be able to win without an issue. Vandy and Texas. That's a pivotal game. Miami and SMU. Could be a trap game for Miami. Don't look past SMU. SMU is a good team. Houston has West Virginia. That's easy. Louisville should be able to beat Virginia Tech easily. Indiana has Maryland. The Hoosiers should win without a problem. Georgia and Florida. Georgia should win without a problem. Notre Dame has Boston College. Boston College is terrible. Texas Tech and Kansas State. Don't overlook Kansas State. Kansas State has rallied some wins. So this will not be a gimme for Texas Tech. Virginia, Cal. Cal isn't that great, but Virginia has been scrapping wins all season. South Carolina, Ole Miss. That should be an easy win for Ole Miss. Georgia Tech and NC State. That should be an easy win for Georgia Tech. USC and Nebraska. That's actually a pretty interesting game. You know what else is an interesting game? Cincinnati and Utah. That can be a pivotal game of who goes to the Big 12 title game. Let's get to the NFL's Week 8. So your Thursday nighter, the Vikings and the Chargers, that was not close. The Chargers won easily, 37-10. Carson Wentz is gone for the rest of the year. I don't know if he plays an NFL game again. J.J. McCarthy may or may not start. So the Vikings are kind of in a hole. The Chargers, even with all the injuries, got a convincing win. They're 5-3. The Colts, they beat the Chargers in Week 7. Got another comfortable win over the Titans. The Titans fired Brian Callahan. Mike McCoy, who, if you guys remember, the Chargers, wasn't really that liked when he was with the Chargers head coach. And he isn't going to be too liked here as interim head coach. They got blown out 38-10. Daniel Jones is continuing to play pretty well. Michael Pittman made 2 big catches in the game. Pierce is a deep threat. Tyler Warren's one of the best tight ends in the game. Josh Downs is a reliable target. Jonathan Taylor's on a hot streak. His 3rd straight week where he has 30 total touchdowns. This week he had 2 rushing, 1 receiving. He's been almost better than his 2021 form. He's been an absolute monster. The defense, opportunistic. The pass rush was able to get home good portions of the game. Hasn't happened much this year, but they did this week. And Cam Ward just has not been good. And although it isn't all his fault, but still, very rough rookie season for him. The Dolphins, they managed to beat the Falcons soundly 34-10. The Falcons just... Kirk Cousins had to start this week, and Kirk Cousins is just an overcooked, rotten oven. The running game could go nowhere. Tua played his best game this year. And the Dolphins was able to get a comfortable win. Bengals and the Jets, oh my gosh. Do I really have to explain this one? The Bengals it was a rout. It was 31-16 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Then the 4th quarter, the Bengals defense craps out, gives up a touchdown drive. But the Bengals answered. It was 38-24. But Bengals defense do Bengals defense things. It was basically Justin Fields, who wasn't even supposed to start if Tyrod Taylor wasn't healthy. Yeah, if Tyrod Taylor was good to go, he was going to be the starter. But he wasn't healthy for this game, and it was basically him and Breece Hall. And the Bengals defense was absolutely trash. I mean, Justin Fields looked good. Do I need to explain even more? The Bengals defense is god-awful. Joe Flacco plays pretty good. The running game was pretty good. The Bengals scored 38 points. None of it mattered. The Bengals, and this was a pivotal game for the Bengals because if they would have won, they would be a game back of the division. But nope, they chose to absolutely bungle it away. Yeah, the Bengals suck for a different reason. And this might be it for Zach Taylor as head coach. Good riddance. The Patriots, Drake May continues to emerge. They did what they needed to do. Beat down a bad team, and they did just that, 32-13 over Cleveland. Drake May's looking good. Mac Hollins, of all people, had a good game. Kayshon Boutte has emerged. Travion Henderson, he's emerged as a pretty good running back. The Patriots look good, and they're a playoff team. The Eagles blew out the Giants 38-20. Cam Scatterbo gone for the year with a horrific leg injury. It was just basically a clinic. Jalen Hurts played well. The running game just dominated. And the biggest event is gone. The NFL's trying to ban that tush push, isn't it? There was a quarterback sneak where Jalen Hurts clearly fumbles. Kayvon Thibodeau knocks it out. And a whistle was blown? Whistle wasn't blown when that ball was popped out. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, they're trying to get that play banned. I mean, it's so obvious. RIP to Tush Push for 2026. The Bills blew out the Panthers 40-9. James Cook had a monster day, 19 carries, 216 yards, and 2 scores. Josh Allen played pretty solidly. The Panthers did okay. It's just they ran into a team that was a buzzsaw for this week. Ravens, they might have potentially saved their season. Derrick Henry plunged for 2 scores. Tyler Huntley played decent. And Caleb Williams just wasn't all that reliable. Threw for a lot of yards, but just couldn't score. And the Ravens won 30-16. That might have just saved their season, because their schedule isn't all that difficult for a good, decent stretch. Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals. Those are games the Ravens should win, every single one of them. Then they have the Steelers, the Bengals again. They don't really play at like a really tough team till New England. And then they have Green Bay and Pittsburgh again. I mean, if the Ravens do what they need to do, they should finish the season at least 10-7. Because that's not that difficult of a schedule. So, the Ravens can recover, can be one of those very few teams that recover from a 1-5 start and make the playoffs. It's possible. And they have enough talent to do so. Texans beat the Niners 26-15. The Niners are just battered. And C.J. Stroud played the best game he did this season. The Texans offense actually looked good for the first time all year. Even another injury-destroyed team managed to win. The Buccaneers beat the Saints 23-3. Spencer Rattler was so riled that they're now starting Tyler Shook for this week. Ugh. Yeah, the Saints are trash, and the Buccaneers, even with all the injuries, comfortably lead that division by 2 games. Broncos put an absolute clinic on the Cowboys, 44-24. Broncos are 6-2, believe it or not. The Cowboys' offense has still been pretty good this year, but when you don't have a defense, it won't matter. Then the Steelers and the Packers. The Steelers was up at halftime. They were up 16-7. And then the Packers' offense just could not be stopped in the second half. Jordan Love, he threw 20 straight completions. He was dotting everybody up. Tucker Kraft had one heck of a game. Christian Watson made big catches. The running game wasn't nearly great for Green Bay, but it was defendable enough to keep the drives moving. But more importantly, it was just Jordan Love carving up what it was supposed to be the defense. Aaron Rodgers played okay, but you're not going to get a peak Aaron Rodgers. And more importantly, when the Steelers' defense, when they're not getting pressure on Jordan Love or anybody, that defense gets absolutely carved. You got aging secondary players. Your linebacking core hasn't been dependable. Peyton Wilson hasn't been all that dependable. A couple other injuries. Patrick Queen hasn't been good. So Yeah, that defense is just not being good. And the Steelers comfortable lead that division. If they're not careful, they can lose that. They can lose out that division. Then you have your Monday Nighter, the Chiefs and the Commanders. It wasn't all that close. Mariota hasn't played great. The Commanders are just destroyed with injuries. Kelsey played his best game in a long time. Rashid Rice is back in full force. The running game is pretty solid. Kareem Hunt is a nice running back to go behind Pacheco. Mahomes has played really well. That Chiefs offense has looked good. Because last year that offense did not look all that great. But this year, the Chiefs offense has been kind of what they were kind of back in 2022. Because the last couple years that offense has been kind of mediocre and that defense has rise to the occasion. This year, the defense is still solid, but that offense has picked it back up. Chiefs are a very dangerous team. They kind of have a tough few games. They have the Bills, Broncos, and the Colts. Those are kind of tough games. But the Chiefs, they have the pedigree. And they can go on a torrent streak because they have enough pedigree and talent to do so. I think this Chiefs team is better than last year's. And last year, they only lost 2 regular season games. It's just like 14 out of 15 of those wins were just super duper ugly. But I think the Chiefs they're really good. And they could potentially win a Super Bowl again this year. So now week 8's done. So here are your week 9 matchups. Your first niner, Baltimore in Miami. This is a pivotal game for Baltimore. They need to start going on a winning streak to save their season. And the Dolphins are easy pickings. So Baltimore should be able to win that game. If they lose this game, then their season's on like mega life support. Colts and the Steelers. I want to feel confident about this game, but this game isn't a gimme for the Colts. It's at Pittsburgh, and even though the Steelers' defense hasn't been good, and you never know when you have an off day, and every once in a while, a team has their off day, and when that offense doesn't score 30 points, can that defense hold? I have a feeling that this is kind of be like a 24-20 kind of game. So, should be a win for Indianapolis, but it's going to be a tough contest. Bears and the Bengals both. Do I really want to get invested in this game? I'm not. Bears are a cock tease, and the Bengals don't have a defense. This game will ultimately not matter. Vikings and the Lions. Who knows if McCarthy's going to start? I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Lions should be able to win comfortably. The Lions, they're still really good. Panthers and Packers. This should be a win for the Packers, but Panthers, they're able to make games competitive this year. Yes, they got blown out last week, but they've been making games competitive. So, this probably won't be an easy win for Green Bay, but Green Bay has enough ability to win this game, and they should be able to win comfortably. Chargers and Titans. The Chargers should be able to win this, even though the Chargers are destroyed with injuries. The Titans are just garbage. So, Chargers should win. Falcons and Patriots. Man, the opportunity going 7-2 for the Patriots is easy pickings because the Falcons are not good. So this should be able to win for New England, and Drake May is continuing to emerge. 49ers and the Giants. This is a huge game for San Francisco. They need any easy wins they can get. They're injured. They're so battered. So they should be able to beat the Giants. The Giants are now Tyrone Tracy has to get the heavy workload. The Giants' defense has not been great. Even though they have good pass rushers, they don't have a secondary, and the linebacking core is not that good. So the 49ers should win. Broncos and the Texans. I have a feeling this is anybody's game. I think the Texans, they kind of shown that they can, when they need to, they can start packing up wins, and they need their postseason chances on life support. So this is a big game for both teams. Broncos continued up that division lead because Kansas City is kind of knocking on their door. And Houston, they need to keep their playoff hopes alive. So it's anybody's game. Jacksonville, the Raiders. The Jacksonville has two very ugly losses, and the Raiders are not really good this year. Trevor Lawrence has still looked pedestrian. Brian Thomas is having a disaster year. And even though Travis Hunter had his first big game 2 weeks ago, I can't just say the Jaguars win in a foregone conclusion. I do think they win, but I think it's going to be ugly. Saints and the Rams, there's nothing to discuss. The Rams are going to win easily. Chiefs and Bills, this is a pivotal game for both teams. I don't know who to pick for this one. The Bills, they have some flaws, and the Chiefs look good, but I'm going to say the Bills win because the Bills have beaten the Chiefs in the regular season, but in the postseason, the Chiefs have just owned the Bills. So I think the Bills win in this matchup. Seahawks and the Commanders, I think the Commanders, they're just too battered. I think Seattle wins pretty comfortably. The Commanders are just too battered right now. Then your Monday night are the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Cardinals haven't been all that impressive, and the Cowboys' offense has actually been really good, so I think the Cowboys win this game. The Cowboys don't have a defense, but the Cardinals are just not good at all. Kyler Murray, it's almost like he's on his way out. So, I think this should be a win for Dallas. And that wraps up for this episode. Like I said, I'm good to record this week. Last week I had issues recording, kept cutting off. But, yeah, I'm back to the weekly episodes. So, that'll wrap this up, and thanks for watching.